What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Alexander, obviously. So, short Periscope. I just felt like talking about this because Guru Anaerobic, he posted an excerpt from one of his very excellent ebooks, which you should get. And in it, he discussed leg training. And he made a really, really excellent point, which I think I might just put into an email, honestly, just link it to his stuff. He made a really excellent point that your legs are the most foundational, fundamentally important part of your body. And he drew the contrast between if you can do squats, but you can't do, let's say, like pull-ups, you're probably still healthy. But if you can't do squats at all, then you're probably unhealthy. Yeah, and what was he highlighting there? Well, he's highlighting the fact that if you lose leg functionality and you lose the ability to use your legs, it's very likely that your overall metabolic health, your physiological health, all the factors that go into your health as a whole, they've all declined, they've all suffered. And as I said probably poorly a second ago, you can be really healthy but not be able to do pull-ups, let's say, or not be able to do push-ups. But you can't be really healthy and not be able to do squats. You have to be able to squat. Have to. And one of the things as you get older that's very common with elderly people, or even just, let's say, people past 30 years of age now. People age very rapidly. Oh, what's up, brother? I was just talking about you. So one of the things that's very common now with people as they age really past 30s, they start losing muscle mass, which is what sarcopenia is. And once you start losing muscle mass in your legs, once you start losing that lean body mass in your legs, your athleticism declines, your mobility declines, your overall cardiovascular health declines, and the breakdown of your overall health, it happens at a very accelerated rate. Something that's interesting that you see in sometimes like older triathletes who are in very good shape is that they have still fairly significant leg mass, and they more or less have the metabolic health of someone that's 20 to 30 years younger than them. I talked about this in my longevity program that I wrote last year, but one of the ways to preserve your biological health over time is just to build up that lean body mass and to develop a very high level of strength endurance. If you have very good absolute strength, meaning that your maximal strength levels are well developed, and you have very good strength endurance, and that you can do a lot of reps where you can do both, you can address both ends of the spectrum, you're going to be fit. You're going to be fit, you're going to be healthy, you're going to be lean, most likely, or leanish, and you're not going to be a person that suffers from the supposed degradatory ravages of aging that way. Most of the negative side effects of aging that happen, as I said, it's just from the loss of lean body mass. You lose lean muscle mass, you can't move as well, your insulin sensitivity, that takes a hit as well. You start storing more body fat, you start moving less, systemic inflammation probably goes up. Like I said, it just starts that cascade effect of negative consequences. So, to just kind of summarize all that, since I'm sort of jumping around here, what should you all be doing? You should be doing two things. You should be training with very high reps to develop your strength endurance, and you should be training also with low reps to build your maximal strength. If you do those two things together, you'll be healthy, and you'll be pretty strong, and probably some measure of athletic. So, any questions, people? I guess you could, if I wanted to phrase it sort of simple, be able to squat lots and be able to squat a lot. Do both. And I'm actually on the gym right now. I'm on my way to the gym right now. Not to squat, actually. I squatted yesterday. Low equals 3 to 6 reps. Yeah. Morning versus afternoon lifting. I suggest training at whatever time you can most consistently train at. Optimize that first, honestly. I'm not saying really optimize, but just be consistent with that first. If that's morning, that's morning. If that's evening, that's evening. These squats also work lower legs. You're referring to calves? No, squats really don't work your calves. Calves you actually do have to work separately. What does heavy mean? Heavy means using weights in which you are challenged to express your strength in, let's just say, the 3 to 6 rep range. That's heavy weight. What's high reps? High reps are the 15, 20 plus range. Yes, one of the standards I always suggest for people is that you want to be able to do 100 bodyweight squats in a row. Doesn't mean you'll be a crazy athlete, but it does mean you'll have some level of strength endurance and some level of lean muscle mass. And another really good strength standard is being able to goblet squat half your body weight for 25 reps. Someone said I can complain of cardiovascular condition from just lifting weights. You can if you lift weights in such a manner that you train your cardiovascular system, which generally means shortening your rest periods and extending your sets. That can be done. So hopefully that answered the question. Yeah, that's usually colloquially referred to as metabolic training. That can be done, that can be well executed, or that can be done actually quite poorly. Sometimes people just overly beat themselves up with too intense workouts that way, since they try to turn everything cardio, which some things like maximal strength are not meant to be cardio at all. Your cardiovascular base, meaning your ability to really just use oxygen, your oxygen capacity is what is the limiting factor for your muscle mass development. So if you have really bad endurance and you're trying to build muscle, you need to address your endurance. That's why most pro bodybuilders, despite all the drugs and everything else they take, they all do a lot of cardio, a lot. Yeah, and the reason for that is, aside from helping them to stay lean, it also helps them develop their cardiovascular capacity, meaning their body is able to use oxygen well. If your body is bad at using oxygen, you're going to be in all-around bad health. What about high-intensity intervals for cardio? Do we need lower intensity? There's often this suggestion that all you need to do is do high-intensity intervals, and that's sufficient for cardio. To a point, that can be sufficient, to a point. But for a fully developed cardiovascular system, you actually do need to do both. You need low-intensity work. When I say to a point, I mean for, like, let's just say, a base level of physical conditioning where you're kind of fit, maybe not superbly fit. That could be sufficient. But for real performance level stamina in regards to being able to do repeated efforts of work over and over again, you need an aerobic base. Your aerobic base is what limits your anaerobic base too as well. So you can't just train anaerobics and nothing else. A lot of those studies that sort of supposedly show to only do anaerobic training or only do intervals, they're always done on, let's say, untrained or lowly trained people. And for people who don't train all that much or who don't train really cardio much at all, everything's going to have a positive effect. But when you're talking about a level beyond the beginner level, you do need to do more. My apologies to you guys if I'm rambling right now. I did not get much sleep at all, and I am definitely not cognitively, as I'm slurring all my words, I'm not cognitively at my sharpest at this moment. You still get that gym body pain after? You mean being sore? I'm not really sure what you're referring to. Do I still get sore after training? Do you eat a lot of fish? I guess I do actually. I eat fish, at least probably 2-3 days a week. Yeah. What's your favorite fish? Probably mackerel, actually. I love mackerel. The hair is genetics, so that's not happening for any of you, most likely. What's the best alternative for leg extensions? Best alternative, probably something, let's say, like a body weight modified hack squat. I mean, leg extensions are not a critical, necessary, mandatory exercise at all. That said, they are a good isolation movement. So, sometimes replacing leg extensions with another squat can be tiring. But if you do something like a body weight leg extension, or you do like the banded hack squats, where you sort of deload part of your body weight, or even just doing deloaded body weight squats with bands, that can be really helpful. Best alternative to not being a douche? I have no idea. You're going to have to ask a nice guy about that one. That's a funny question. Anything else, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, that was easy. No problem. I never understand why people do this, the silly shit. I honestly don't. I mean, if you think it did, I'm not really sure what you're asking, honestly. And sometimes you guys ask questions where I feel like you're just asking the question for yourself. Do you think my self-doubt holds me back? Yeah, probably. probably your self-doubt does hold you back if you're asking that. Best specific way to quickly reduce high blood pressure. Most direct way to do that, bro, you got to lose body fat, period. If you're overweight, drop weight. Like that, losing body weight, losing weight in general, losing excess body fat, that's going to solve all the health problems that come with having excess body fat. So, I mean, that's the most direct way. I mean, like, sort of, I guess the fastest way, something that could improve, within like a few weeks, doing cardio daily, going for a 30-minute walk. But overall, you just need to address your health as a whole. There's no, like, magical way to make blood pressure go down. If you have high blood pressure, that's representative that you have poor internal health, and you are probably, quite simply, out of shape. So, take that and run with it. All right, guys, I'm going to go train. Good talking to you all. Love you all. Talk to you all again.